Welcome back. Fig here. Starting in the credits room, I've added, this is the problem tracking house. Down there is problem tracking, and right here we've got our credits. So these are the people that have helped with the escape room, and I've got this little book here so I can write down what they've done to contribute, and will do to contribute in the future, which is pretty cool. So anyway, I wanted to start here just because Large Long Trousers is a friend of mine. And before it was me and Taco Tuesday 2 building everything, and she's testing a lot of puzzles for me and that sort of thing. Well, Large Long Trousers is a really good builder, and he's also really good at looking up images online, reference images, and then turning that into Minecraft builds. And so, yeah, I'm going to show you some of the things he's built, and you can clearly see what I've built and what he's built, because the houses I've built are just really dull in comparison. It's kind of sad. So, there's a roof here. So, for instance, this is what I built. Taco Tuesday added the second story to it. This is a blacksmith's that Large Long Trouser made, and it's just way cooler, way more detailed. Nice roof, got a chimney. Just the shape of it. Mine's a box. This is just all around better. A lot of details here. Pretty cool. And then over here is another build that he did. This is probably going to be like the cobbler, a guy who makes shoes and all that kind of stuff. So, got this here. And we'll be back here. I've got another thing to show you. Look at this roof, though. Just beautiful roof work. Here's a little well that Taco Tuesday made. Pretty cool. You've got the bucket down here, which is actually, there is a pig, I believe she said, that's stuck under there with this lead coming up to this to give it that look there. This anvil was my fault. Let's see. Some other builds. You may notice this has changed quite a bit. Because before it was the church and it was the stable. There wasn't a bridge, so this is pretty cool. Me and Large Long Trousers worked together to make this bridge. It's pretty nice. It also has an underside to it. So pretty cool. This is the training grounds for the barracks, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, we were trying to figure out how to connect these, and then we had the idea of, well, what if it was like basically a staircase or a slope, and then we would raise the ground to meet it. So that's what we did. I just started with a slope, started doing it, got to a certain point. He said stop there, and he built the mound up to it. We connected it, and then we had to figure out how to design the bridge and then add the archways and all that kind of stuff. So pretty proud of how it turned out. We're going to need, obviously like the portcullis or something up there that the player is able to open, but that's some redstone stuff, so I've been putting it off to figure out how to do that. Then these roads. This was sort of just all of us working together trying to design it. We came up with this, I think this is Taco Tuesday's idea, dead brain coral block. It has this great texture to it, and this great look, and then the brick edgings. So I think she came up with the palette of this. And then I went ahead and came in here and put the curves and built this up to here and all that kind of stuff. Then you've got this tavern / inn that Large Long Trousers made. So people come in through the gatehouse, which I guess I need to show you, and they can park their horses there. There's outdoor eating, and there's rooms up there. So let's go inside. Let's have a look. You've got the bar. So you've got these nice little, these are pistons, which have, oops, I didn't realize it was on the side of the block. But they have redstone torches that are causing the piston to be extended. Let me put this back, which gives it that nice stand for the seats. Then over here, you can come back here and tend bar. A lot of details will probably be added to these buildings in the future, but this is a nice working thing. You've got this bar here, a lot of cool stuff. I might have to change how much free food is lying around because you will be in survival mode, so that matters. This is a neat trick where you have a campfire and you have a block and you have a hopper minecart stuck inside of there, which is pretty cool. Then this fridge, you push this button and it opens and it gives you uncooked food. You got your sink. This right here, campfires, you can actually stick food on them. I believe you can stick raw food there and cook it. I've never actually done that, but sounds cool. You've got this little sort of pantry here, seating. He was experimenting with different types of chairs and tables and lights and all that kind of stuff. So some of this may change, it may stay like this. It's just an interesting, just trying out new things and seeing what he likes. This leads out to the outdoor eating. Then we can come up the stairs. You've got this nice view. You got these little rafters, and then over here are the rooms. The furnishing down here is a little lacking, but here you can come out and walk down to the main gate. Up here you've got a little loft with a bed, storage, and a little table with some crafting table, and there's lighting. So just a pretty cool little design. There's 4 rooms up here, 4 rooms. And you can come up here and go out into a balcony, just kind of look out. So, pretty nice. And this is actually based on a reference image. So I played this game, Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is supposed to be like a realistic medieval, like historically accurate, not really realistic, but historically accurate medieval game. So this is based on an image of, I think it's Broken Wheel Inn, which is east of the, I can't remember the name of the town, but wherever you end up staying with a miller and his daughter. They kind of take you in and you live there outside of the town. But to the east of the town is the inn that this is based on. This is the reference images he got. So that's what it's got, like these tiered roofs and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. And that's a real skill, taking a picture and turning it into Minecraft. I need to work on that. So over here is a gatehouse, and every castle has this issue. You have all these walls and this fortification, these towers and archer windows, and you're keeping people out, right? But somehow people at some point need to be able to come in, and people need to go out. But how do you do that without having your defenses just sort of completely nullified by having just a giant door in the front? So what they would do is they'd have this gatehouse situation. So people come up to the gatehouse, we can have soldiers up there and they can say, okay, you can come in, and then this gatehouse opens. Right? These don't actually open. So anyway, the people come in, and then there's the choice to let them through here, or if they're an invader and they've broken through this gate, they can be trapped in here, and while they are, there's these holes in the wall where they can, kind of stab them. There's these are real, like, historically this is a real thing. We've got murder holes, so you can pour, like, boiling tar on them and stuff, so, pretty violent stuff, but that's the whole idea of the design, is it keeps people out, and even if they get past the first one, then they're stuck, you can have an entire army, and they're funneled into this really narrow space, and then you can pick them off. So, yeah, that's just a little gatehouse I made on the inside here. Let's see. You can see here where we can climb up and go to the murder holes. Drop lava or whatever. Obviously, historically it wouldn't be lava, but Minecraft version would be dropping lava down on their heads. Then you've got these little holes where I have enough room so I could hold a spear and jab at their feet and stuff like that. So, murder holes, very pleasant, very, very, very cool. Let's see, added the roads. You can of course see these banners. Taco Tuesday loves these banners. Every time there's anything, we'll build something, and it's like this bridge, for instance. And she's like, you know what that bridge needs? And then banners. You could put down. I'm surprised there aren't banners on this yet. You just put down a fence post, and she'll be like, you know what that needs? A banner. So, I do love the banners in the castle. I think they're great. But yeah, so she decided to add banners to these walls. So we worked on these designs. This is a simpler design, and then up on the main, by the way, I'm calling this lower ward and upper ward. So on the upper ward, you have this little crown design with the golden tassels. Down here is just a blank one with the golden tassels. And this is on the outside and inside of the castle. So that's pretty cool, and it's just sort of... There's no thin thing besides glass panes, which would look terrible. Like, there's really no good way to make this other than it being big and blocky, and then this is just sort of the way to hang it. So, we designed that, and I used World Edit to go and copy and paste it everywhere, so it didn't take too long, thankfully. The designing of it took a while, but let's see. There's been some terraforming going on just to make everything work. We have the barracks over here, which isn't complete, but this is the sort of training grounds and everything, and come through here, and you've got this nice chimney. Yeah, where Taco Tuesday adds banners, Large Long Trousers adds chimneys. Every one of his builds has to have a fireplace chimney situation. So yeah, that's not done yet, but still looking pretty cool already. I added a cemetery, and the reason for the cemetery is actually because I had a puzzle idea. So let's get into that. Up in here, let's see, get rid of all this junk I don't need. Oops. Yeah, the compass makes you teleport through stuff. There we go. But anyway, in there you'll get this lodestone compass and this stone shovel. And if you follow this compass, where is it leading me? Anyway, if you follow it, it takes you over to the graveyard. And the shovel, when you're in adventure mode, let's see, F3 and F4, you can switch easily between modes. So here we are. I can't break anything. That's the point of adventure mode. It's great for map maker. So I can't destroy anything, and I can't place any blocks or anything like that. So how am I going to do anything? Well, if you look at this, this says can break rooted dirt. So I've created the shovel, which allows me to, I can't dig this up, but I can only dig this rooted dirt. That's it. So if I follow the compass to the location, which is right here, then I can dig this up and then find this barrel, which will have something in it. And you can see I can't even place the rooted dirt back because I'm in adventure mode. So let's put that back where it belongs. Put this here. And let's see, do I have... I believe I have a book up here that tells you what the commands are for this. Yes, here we go. Yeah, so the way to get a compass that goes to a certain direction is you set down a lodestone. And I don't know if I already mentioned this, but if you... I think it's because I'm OP, but if I right-click it with a compass, it'll teleport me, like through walls and stuff. So I'll teleport when I do this, but normally this shouldn't happen. If you right-click on a lodestone, it teleported me to the other side of it. But now, this lodestone... Oh, because I'm in creative mode, it created a new one here. But this lodestone compass now points to the lodestone. This is something I learned from when Tango Tech made Decked Out. He used this a lot. Yeah, so this will always point here. So under that barrel down in the cemetery, I just have a lodestone that's connected to the compass. So it's actually pretty easy to do. Then the shovel, this command right here is what you've got to do. So this is the same way that I would give myself like a command block. I would give the player, and then you can type in whatever thing. But here it's a stone shovel, which is the item, and then in these little curly brackets, the category can destroy, colon, square bracket, and then in quotes, you put whatever things, and you could have a comma and list a bunch of things. So I could say I want to be able to do rooted dirt, normal dirt. Oh. Do I need to have... Yeah, it would be like this. Rooted dirt, grass, block, you know, dirt block. So now, if you look at this, it says I can do... Okay, apparently dirt block was not the right way to write that. So it says missing no, which is what happens if you don't put an actual thing. So you have to be kind of specific with it. But now I can dig... Oh, I don't think I'm in adventure mode. There we go. Now I can dig this, even though I normally wouldn't. So I can't dig this puzzle, but I can dig the grass because I've given myself permission for it. Another thing that I decided was that this place, I have game rule... What is it? Do daylight cycle. I have it set to false right now, which means it won't change. It'll always stay at whatever time I set it at. So I have it set to day, and it's always going to be day. So that's, it's always bright when we're building and everything. But sometimes people want to see their builds at night. And you want to make sure it glows and everything. So I think what's going to happen is when the player's actually playing this, the daylight cycle will be on, and so it'll change over time. And so that allows you to actually do certain puzzles based on the time. I don't know if I'll really have more than this, but I do have this one idea here. So if you come down here, there's nothing here, but there would be a clue that would tell you, go under the bridge at night or whatever. So you can see it's daylight outside, there's nothing on that wall, and then if I set the time to night, boom, and suddenly this opens up and I can get into this barrel. So that's a pretty cool idea, I think. It's really easy, so this is just a piston pulling back this block. You've seen that 1,000 times. But you have to have a daylight sensor, and so I had to hide it up here because I don't believe the player will ever really see that. So the worst is like when they're up here, they can kind of look and see that, but they can't get to it because of these barriers. I'll explain in a minute. But you have to have transparent block above the daylight sensor for it to be able to detect what's going on. So anyway, I have a daylight detector down there, and I right-clicked on it to make it a, inverted, which makes it light up at night, and then the redstone feeds in down there to that piston. So if I switch it to day, you'll see that closes again. There we go. So pretty cool, pretty simple, easy to do. You could have, I might do this, I might have places like certain buildings where the doors open during the day and close at night, things like that. So those are all options you could do, which would be cool. Let's see. One thing that bothered me all the time about this was that this is an escape room, and yet people could go on the walls and jump off. And so I thought for the longest time I was just going to have a set of rules at the beginning, and one of them was don't jump off the walls to escape the castle. Which seems kind of obvious, and you're cheating yourself of the fun if you jump off. But I don't like the idea of limiting the player with something that's not an actual limitation. So, I want the player to be able to do whatever they want, try anything, and I don't want the game to allow it if they're not supposed to do it. So they don't have to worry about, if they were in creative mode or something, or survival mode, and they destroy a block on accident, they'd feel bad about it, they accidentally mess something up. I don't want that. So they're going to be in adventure mode, controls what they do. I don't want them to have to remember a list of rules, like, can I do this? Is it okay if I do this? If they can do it, then they're allowed to do it, is basically my philosophy. And so I didn't like the idea of just telling them don't jump off this. And I didn't want to mess up the aesthetic design and just sort of like logistically how this works, just to keep people from being able to jump off the wall. But then I remembered that there's something called a barrier. Whoop. So these you can only see if you're holding one, and they place down just like a normal block, right? If you stop holding it, they all just kind of fade away. They don't render quickly and update quickly, but anyway, I just put these around here all over the place so you can't jump off. I can't go through that at all. And if you're in adventure mode, boop, 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 go away. Okay, you can't even see them. They don't even highlight, like when you look at them. Well, in adventure mode it's great because no blocks highlight unless you can actually do something with them. So you can't even, see that there's anything there. You just really can't go there. It's an invisible barrier. which is really cool and gave me an idea for a puzzle. Okay, when you're down in the catacombs, you see this room quite often, and you know, you haven't been down there yet, but finally you get to this room, you come through here, bada bing, bada boom, you solve this puzzle room, and when you do, this this opens up. So it looks like this. This opens up, you can flick the lever, get this cool little animation, and then when you come down here, then there's this room. And this room is using these barriers. And before I had thought about, I want a room with an invisible maze. I thought that would be cool. But the only way I could think of doing it was with glass. And that's not actually invisible. And you could kind of see the maze and it would obstruct your view. Whereas this, if I go into adventure mode, you can't see anything. So you're just kind of blindly trying to go around. So you come in here and it looks like a big empty room. You know, with some random flooring, some patterns on the wall, some lights, and then a glowy thing that hopefully dictates, you know, says to the player, that's where I want to go. And you can try to go there, but it's hard to get there. You know, I'm pushing, but oop, I run into a wall. What do I do? How do I get over there? So you've got to try to figure out the puzzle on how to get over there, which is pretty cool. Oh, I'm so close. But actually, I'm very far away. So... yeah, that was cool, and I'm not going to give away the solution to this puzzle because I think it might be fun for you guys to try to do it later, so I don't want to spoil the puzzle right now. I'll probably in the future, after I release the world download and allow people to play it, I'll probably have a video where I explain a little more, answer questions you guys might have, that sort of thing, and I might go over how I designed this if you want me to. But anyway, this leads into this room here, or you take out this torch, the wall opens, bada bing, bada boom, you come in here, you're in this room, so now you're down here. So, that's just a pretty cool way. I had to connect, you know, that staircase over there to here, and so this is the room I added to be able to do that. And now as we walk into the castle, I want to show you something really cool, which is the gardens. Don't know that I went over this before, but yeah, Taco Tuesday has done some beautiful work with the gardens. So now you're out here, you've got a path there. Let's see, is there a good way to do this now? Cut through the grass here. So yeah, beautiful gardens, flowers and everything. You got a little gazebo, you can come up here and sit down and enjoy it. You got glowberries that light it up. You got this nice path that leads around. Come through these little terraced archways with spore blossoms above, all that kind of cool stuff. Banners. Then you come over here, you've got this nice lattice, whatever thing it is, with these. Oh, and this is a cool thing. You can take shears and right click on a plant. So if I take, for instance, this plant here, and I just want to grow it, if you do F3, there we go. On the right side there under targeted block it says age 17. So this will grow over time, but if I right click on it with shears, it goes to age 25. So it fully ages the plant, and now this plant will never grow further. So you don't have to put string under it and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't work for everything. Like I don't think it works for sugarcane, so she does have string above that. But it kept us from having to put string under all of these to keep them in check, which is really cool. So, you know, some of these we wanted long and full of glowberries, and some of them we just wanted this nice little ambience thing that you could walk under. Then you come over here and you've got this beautiful waterfall. It's like a little castle waterfall thing. You know, throw coins in there, you can sit there and talk about life or whatever. And yeah, it's gorgeous, and you know, this leads into the Great Hall here, which is fantastic. So, just to give you sort of like, here's what it looks like, kind of, and if we were to do it time set night, at the end of this little hallway, walkway thing, we have a puzzle room. So this room will be decorated with some, you know, alchemy type stuff. Then you walk in, you see this purple thing here, but I can't get in there. You know, obviously that's another portal, but why do I need it? How do I get into it, etc.? Those are questions you have. You've got this barrel here with 6 water bottles in it. So this limits the options for the player. They only have 6 water bottles worth of water. So they can't exactly just fill all of these. So they've got to figure out, where do I put them? Where do I put the 6? So they can put these in here, try to get it right, and, you know, maybe I need to take one out and put it there, but it always will have to add up to 6. And, you know, there's 0 in here, 1, 2, 3 is a full cauldron. And I'll just, yeah. Oh, I missed it. Boop, boop. Yeah, when you solve it, which right now it's 3, 0, 2, 1, you solve it and this opens up, and then you can go through, and I will not show you what's on the other side. It'll be for you to discover later on. But anyway, so this is just a neat little puzzle, and I'm going to try to explain how it works. So I copied and pasted the entire thing here, and you can see how tight of a space we're in. This is the hallway down below with the signature banner. Over here is the soldiers' quarters in that tower there. So they climb up this ladder. This is a little loft thing here. Over here, right here, is the wall to the great chambers for the royal family. So this is a really tight space to work with. And then right on the other side here is the wall to the outside. So basically I hollowed out all the space that I had just to see how much space I had to work with, and then I had to somehow figure out how to fit all of this, what I wanted, within that space, which is part of why the entire floor has, you know, down there in that room comes up above this, because it has to go above all this redstone. So the way this works is you've got cauldrons with comparators. They read the output. Let's see, just a refresher on comparators in the normal mode. Let's see, put a cauldron here, gonna put some redstone here. No output. Boop. 1, 2, 3. It's full. It never goes to 4. So you can read the output of this and be very specific about how full you want it to be. The other thing you might, let's put that back, remember about cauldrons, or sorry, about comparators, is that they can compare what's going on. So if I put, for instance, this here, let me get like a lever, boom. This going in here is going to be, let's see, on the right side under targeted block you can see it says power 15, power 14, and coming out of here, if I turn this off, you can see that this goes, you know, comes out of here at 2. So right now this is a power 2, so this 15 coming into the side is greater than the 2, which means that it doesn't output anything. But if this isn't greater than what's coming in the back, then it just outputs whatever's in the back. So 2 comes out. You can also put this in subtract mode, which would mean that it takes whatever's coming in the back and subtracts what's coming in the side. So those are the 2 main features that are really useful for comparators, and they're being used here. So this comparator is saying how full is this, put out the redstone. You've got some of these coming in the side saying that if these conditions are met, then we need to, you know, make redstone not pass through it, all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of a mess. You can see I've got this AND gate, which is slightly different than the typical one. It's just kind of twisted, and we have a third input coming in here. So even if both of those conditions are met, this condition also has to be met. And then these come into here where the redstone torches extend this. So if we were to solve this, just so you can see what the redstone looks like when it's solved, boom, opens up. So try to explain this real quick. Hopefully you can follow it. You've got the comparator. This outputs 3 if this is full. If this wasn't full, then the redstone simply wouldn't go far enough to, you know, turn off that part of the AND gate. So this comes in here, just outputs the exact amount. This strengthens it and pushes it over to one input of the AND gate. this needs to be empty. If this has anything in it, the comparator reads it. The redstone repeaters strengthen the signal and push it all the way over here, which then goes into the side of this comparator, meaning nothing comes out of it. So even though there's this is 1 at this time, 1 coming in the back, 15 is greater than 1, and so it'll just, nothing will come through, meaning that this redstone torch is on and our AND gate output is off again. So this has to be empty, and this has to be 3. You've got this one here. The answer to this one is 2. If it's 3, then this redstone goes all the way to here, pushes in the side of there, same as before. If this is 1, then this would have to be 0. So basically what's going on here is this signal comes out of here. We need to pass it over here. This comparator just lets us get the redstone from here to here without changing it. It just passes exactly along. This comparator says as long as what's coming out of here is greater than what's coming out of here, then we're good. So whatever I have in here, this one has to have more water. But obviously this can't be 3, because that would turn off that. So if this was 2, this could be 1. And if this is 1, this could be 0. So this has to be more than this, and this can't be 3. It can be 2 or 1. But the way to control this is we have this comparator here, which says that if this has nothing in it, then this third input, this is why this is important. Because all the rest are correct, but this one's wrong. And so we've got this redstone being powered, which means no output. But as soon as we put this in here, bada bing, it goes. Hopefully that makes sense. I had a really hard time trying to figure out how to explain it. But anyway, so here's the exact same sort of thing if I had all the space in the world to do it. You've got the comparator coming out. It has to be 3. Actually, this is not as good, because this one, I believe, yeah, like if this was set to 3, this wouldn't change the output. So this actually is not as sophisticated as this, but this is just the same basic idea. You've got an AND gate that's saying as long as this is 2 or more, and as long as this one is 1 or more, then that's one of our outputs. Here you can see if this was empty, there's that controlling that. So maybe that makes it clear, who knows. But anyway, yeah, so I had to figure out how to shove all this in that tight little space, and you know, it's puzzle designing is really a puzzle in itself. You have to love doing puzzles to love making puzzles, because it was a real challenge to figure out how to fit all these comparators in, how to feed them into each other. I couldn't have all the AND gates I wanted to have because of the tight space, and even these ones that I kind of had to have. Maybe there's a better way, I don't know. But they made it so I had to raise the floor up. So I think this is a pretty sophisticated little circuit. I'm really proud of it, but yeah, it was a challenge.